Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be starting a series of videos wherein we will be covering various reasoning topics. For this video, we will be covering parts of the non-verbal or the visual reasoning. The topics covered are cubes, dices, nets of cubes, cuboids, how to fold them, surface painting of the cubes, blocks counting in a cube, spheres that replace a cube, all of these types of topics. These occur frequently in some way or the other in not only the design exams but also in olympiads or reasoning sections of some other exams. All the tricks that I'm getting in today's video are a compilation of the stuff I figured out or I learned during my preparation, which will definitely help you solve questions faster and with more accuracy. So let's begin. The first trick is that the parallel or the opposite faces of a cube or a cuboid, they will generally be after leaving one face in between. Okay, so something that I would like to clear firsthand is that all the cube questions I practiced, they were of this kind of a net. Okay, like the one I have drawn over here. So I noticed this pattern in this kind of a net. However, if you're trying with some other net or something like that, you can try. If it works, okay. If it does not, then you'll have to solve other ways. So what I mean to say by this is that here is 1, here is 3, one square is left in between, basically like one face is left in between. So 1 and 3 will be opposite to each other. Basically, if here is 3, then piche wale side it will be 1. Similarly, we have 2 and 4, right? So 2 is over here, 4 is over here, this is left. So basically 2 and 4 will be opposite pairs. Same ways for 5 and 6, 2 is left in between. So opposite, we know that front and behind, left or right, like that, top or bottom. However, by parallel, what we mean is that, for example, if I'm going to stack cubes on top of this, okay, like this, if I'm going to stack the cubes, and if I have let's say numbers over here, okay, so if 4 is over here, what is behind it? 2. If 5 is over here, what will we have on the other side? It will be 6. And then again, what is left? 1 and 3, right? Yeah, so if 3 is over here, what will be in the bottom part? It will be 1. So what I mean to say is, now if you have a question that says that you have to find the sum of all the faces that are parallel to the ground. So whatever is parallel to the ground, so like 4 is parallel to the ground, then 2 is parallel to the ground, so 4 plus 2, then 1 is parallel to the ground and 3 is parallel to the ground, right? But 1 is hidden, you don't know what is there over here, but you have figured out that the parallel or the opposite face to 3 will be 1, so you can add 1 plus 3, okay, and then you will get your sum. It can be more than 2 cubes as well, so that is one thing. So like this you can solve the questions, okay. Same ways, if in case the cube would not have been above, it would have been something like over here, right? And we had to tell something like parallel this ways, okay, parallel to maybe 5. If the question said that find the sum of faces parallel to 5 of this block, okay, now whatever will be here, let's say for example 4 is over here, then we know that 4k parallel we have 2, so this means over here it will be 2, over here it will be 6, because we know right, either 5 hai, either 4 hai, if they've given it, of course. So like you can find the hidden faces using that, and then again you can do 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6, so that way your answer will come. You don't need to twist and turn the whole cube in your head and decide that what numbers are going to be there, right? Okay, so the next trick that we have is that adjacent faces will always have a common joining line or a common edge when folded. Okay, by adjacent faces, what we mean is a face that is like directly connected to it. So like 5 and 3 is connected, 5 and 2 is connected. That means it is adjacent. 3 and 4 ho gaya, 5 and 4 ho gaya. Like that, it's called adjacent. First thing to check if what faces are adjacent to one face, you can just see what all has a common line with that face. If I have to see for 2, for example, so 1 has a common line with it, 5 has a common line with it, 6 has a common line with it, 3 has a common line with it. So definitely 1, 5, 6 and 3 are adjacent to 2. Also we can understand that 1 and 4, they do not have a visible line that's connecting together. But when you will be folding this cube, this edge and this edge, it will meet, so it will become a common edge. Hence 1 and 4 will also be adjacent to each other. Now a short trick for this is that if you know that what are the parallel face, okay, so if you know that 2 is parallel to 4, then everything else will obviously be adjacent to it. If you know that 3 and 1 are parallel to each other, that means everything else except 1 will be adjacent to 3, right? It's written over here in the notes. I'm just explaining everything again orally so that you get like a better understanding. However, I've written everything over here. Okay. Next is that any adjacent face will never be opposite to each other. Okay, this is again kind of like the same thing, that if for example like 2 and 3, they are adjacent to each other, then obviously it will not be parallel now, because it will like fold something like this, like 2, 3, right? It is adjacent, and anyways there is no like phase that is occurring in between them. So 2 and 3, they cannot be opposite to each other, they cannot be parallel to each other. But of course, for example, if I had 2, 3 and then 3 over here again, then 3 would have been adjacent to 2 as well, and it would have been parallel to 2 as well, because 3 is repeating. Here is the example for it, you can just check it out. Next we have opposite faces will never be visible in any image together. It's very likely that they will never be visible in any image together. So I have drawn like a few examples over here showing that how they cannot be visible. Like obviously if you get some view, something like maybe this, okay, but then this does not become a cube, because if you see a cube from the front view, it will look like this. It will look like this if you take it a little higher, or it can look like this if you take it like a little below, but it will never look like this, because then the net becomes something like this, like this, like this. What is this net? This is not a cube anymore, it has become like a trapezium. In a cube, it will not be possible for you to see the opposite faces or the parallel faces together. Okay. I have again written all the adjacent pairs, all the opposite pairs, and again created all of this. And again, here I have also written that all the hidden faces can be determined by checking the visible faces opposite face, like we discussed over here, like in this example. Okay. Now moving on to the various cubes or the dice nets. So as I said, I have only tried, like I've mainly tried all these tricks with this one, okay, and one more isn't made, but like this you can also create this. See, it's basically the same, you just inverted it, you just like rotated it upside down. Okay, you can try with all of these examples as well. You can create nets yourself 3D nets yourself from paper. Try to fold, try to see that what trick is working on which one. But for most of the questions, the tricks that I've written over here, they work very well, especially for this crossword shape net. Okay, now a dice too is a cube, obviously, so all the rules that we've discussed, they will apply to them as well. I gave you the examples using numbers only, so that is exactly what a dice is, a cube with numbers, right? Also, a cuboid is similar to a cube, hence most rules will apply to these as well. However, again, for better understanding, you can try creating the nets yourself and check for yourself. That will help you understand better too. Okay, now let's move to the cube folding with adjacent sides. So in case we don't have numbers, okay, numbers are not there, and we have shapes or something like that. Okay, for this case is for that. So for example, I have to form this thing, this cube I've been given in the image, that we have to form this, and maybe we have to select the options that can form this cube, or the options that will not be able to form this cube, or which option will correctly form this cube. It can be a multiple choice, it can be multiple select, UCEED, Nift, NID, anything it could be. NID, however, did not have the MCQ portion at all this year. They changed the pattern, and they did 100% drawing section, but I'm not sure if that will repeat next year as well. So firstly, your observation skills need to be really good. If you can see, this rectangle is facing the smaller and the unfilled crest. Okay, and if you can also see that no point of this rectangle is facing this diamond. Okay, next thing that you can see is that this diamond point, it is going in between the crests, right? So now when you made some of these observations, you can go and see what all options you have and start discarding your options. So if anything has something like this, so the rectangle, we know that it's facing the smaller crest and it's unfilled, right? So this option cannot be true. इसको तभी डिस्कार्ड कर दो. You don't need to form like the whole cube or think कि अरे बाकी sides तो they're not given, so how are you gonna form the cube? You just see this thing and you discard it because it does not match with your image. Next, if you have rectangle and it faces the smaller and the unfilled crest, but if like the bigger crest is unfilled, it's not filled only, then again it does not match your image criteria. Now one thing you have to keep in mind is that if only this image is given, then it's okay. However, if like one more part is given, okay, in the cube, let's say if this side is also given and this side is maybe something like this, again one more rectangle like this, then you will still have to amend your choices and discard accordingly. But however, if only one section of the cube is given, if only some faces of the cube are given, then you have to solve the question accordingly, and you cannot assume that अच्छा दूसरी side कुछ भी हो सकता है if it's not mentioned in the question. Next we have this. So we have seen that there is the gap in both of them, so it cannot start from over here, right? Hence that also does not match the image criteria and it's not the correct option. In this one, the rectangle, it cannot be unfilled, like we saw in this case that the crest cannot be unfilled, the bigger crest. Same way for rectangle, so this can also not be our correct option. Next, the rectangle should not be parallel to the crest. Okay, so now this thing, the rectangle, it is not like this. Okay, if it would have been like this, then this would have been okay, but it's not like this, so this is not okay. Next we have this thing. The diamond is facing in middle of the smaller crest. Okay, it's not facing over here or it's not facing over here, it's facing in middle of the smaller crest like this, horizontally, not vertically. So this also cannot be your correct option. Next we have this thing. The rectangle, again, it cannot be parallel to your smaller crest. This is basically the same thing as this. Okay. And next over here, it is that the diamond should be filled. Again, we discussed over here, right? The rectangle should point the smaller crest. So this has like two problems. The diamond is not filled, and then this should be pointing the smaller crest. It should not be pointing the diamond, right? Also this one also, it has one more problem, that the rectangle and the diamond, see, this thing is occurring in between them. This means what? That the rectangle and the diamond, they become parallel faces, but they are not parallel or opposite faces, right? They are adjacent to each other. Hence, this is also one thing. एक भी गलती ढूंढ ली तो फिर option you can discard. However, if it's like a spot the difference kind of question or something like that with like a very very minute mistake, then don't go for it. But for like big mistakes like these, you can discard or choose your options accordingly. Now we have the cube and the blocks painting. So there is this really famous question that you have like a big cube, right? And you paint the surface, whole surface of that cube. Now that cube has been divided into multiple sections, right? Whatever sections, it has been divided into multiple sections. Now you have to tell that how many blocks will have only one face painted, how many blocks will have only two faces painted, three faces painted, all faces painted, no faces painted. Okay. So for that, first we'll know the basics. So a cube, it has 6 faces, it has 12 edges, and it has 8 vertices. This is the face, this is the edge, and this is the vertex. Okay. This is the basic that we've read in our school also. So now, some shortcuts are that the total cubes, the total number of blocks or the total number of smaller cubes that will come out from the bigger cube will be equal to the number of cuts on each side to the power 3, uska cube. So if I have made 2 cuts over here, okay, and 2 more cuts like this. By number of cuts, what I mean is that if this is your cube and 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cut, 4 cut, if you've done like this, okay, by this I mean that 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. So basically there are 3 cuts. If for example, so 3 to the power 3, 27 smaller cubes I will get. Now for example, if I've cut something like this and this, right, then it will be 1, 2, 1, 2. So 2 into 2 into 2, it will be 8. So I will get 8 smaller cubes. Like that, it can be for 4 as well. Wait, I'll show you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 into 4 into 4 into 4. Did I say it 3 times? Yeah, so basically like 4 to the power 3, 4 ka cube. Now, every corner cube or the vertex cube, it will have 3 faces painted. Every cube between the corner cubes or the edge cubes, 2 faces will be painted. Every cube between the corner and the edge cubes, center cube, 1 face will be painted, and the cubes which are not visible there inside, no face will be painted. Okay, so let's show it to you over here. If I have this, okay, so firstly, what will be your corner cube? Okay, corner cube will be this thing, the one which is on the corner, right? This whole cube is a corner cube. This cube is a corner cube. This cube is a corner cube, right? This cube is a corner cube. This cube is a corner cube. This cube is a corner cube. And then this cube is a corner cube. And then one directly behind this cube will also be a corner cube, right? So for the corner cubes, if you can see, 3 faces are painted. I've painted orange color, for example, on this cube. So 1, 2, 3. 3 faces are painted for all the corner cubes. Now cube between the corner cubes. Okay. So this is basically directly on the edge. It's not on the vertex. This. Then this. Okay. And then this. That. And then similarly, पीछे भी ऐसे ही होगा, like यहाँ पे हुआ है ना, उसके directly पीछे, इसके directly पीछे. Now if you can see, 2 faces are painted of the edge cubes. Now we have cubes between the corner and the edge cubes. Basically center में जो है, this cube. These are basically the face cubes, right? This cube. Then एक नीचे भी होगा, एक इस side भी होगा, एक इसके पीछे की side भी होगा, right? If you can see, only one face is painted इस पे, बाकी सब तो अंदर छुपा हुआ है, so there will be no paint on that. So one face will be painted. And the cubes that are not visible, right? So like the cube behind this cube, okay, that will be like one cube inside. Okay, that will not be painted because वो तो surface पे है ही नहीं ना, and only the surface has been painted. Okay, let's move. I have labeled all of this over here, and I have numbered that how many vertex cubes are there, how many edge cubes are there, how many face cubes are there in a 3x3x3 cube. Then how many cubes are there for what in the 4x4x4. Okay, so you can also see कि every face has 4 center cubes. So you don't need to count कि ऐसे कितने cubes होंगे. You know that there are 6 faces. You know that there are 4 center cubes in a 4x4x4 cube. So 6 into 4, 24 face cubes will be there, right? Then unpainted, and then we know that how many vertices are there? 8. Vertex cubes will always be 8. Edge cubes, every edge has like, now over here every edge had only 1 cube. Here every edge has 2 cubes. There are 12 edges, so 12 into 2, 24 edge cubes. Now unpainted cubes, 64 minus whatever cubes are painted. So 8 of these cubes, 24 of these cubes, and then 24 of these cubes. So basically 8 cubes will be unpainted. That is how you can solve the question. You don't need to sit and count कि कहाँ पे कितना होगा, all of that. Now I have summarized all of this over here. Again, one thing, this will apply for a cuboid also. However, you have to make sure that the logic will only apply if only the surface of the main cube has been painted and nothing else. For example, अगर मैंने cube बनाया, उसको काट दिया, and then for example I took out this block and then I painted it all over again, then that becomes an exception. It will not fulfill this criteria. उसको separately add, subtract, all of that I will have to see and check, right? If the cubes do not have the same number of cuts, then what we'll do is length cubes, so 4 are here, then breadth cubes, 2 are there, and then height cubes, 3 are there. So total we will have 24 cubes. Okay, now we will move on to the last topic, which is the spheres replacing the cubes thing. Okay, so now spheres replacing cubes is basically when you replace the vertices or the edges or whatever with your spheres. Okay, now one thing that we have to make sure is that if the edge of the smaller cube, okay, basically if this thing is equal to the diameter of this sphere, then no extra part will be outside, no part of the sphere will protrude outside. It will occupy all the space that is removed in the cube's space itself. Nothing will come outside of this. Okay, now I have broken down one question for you to see how it's done. If I have 8 vertex cubes, right, and I have replaced it with the spheres, I have replaced the 8 vertex cubes with the spheres. So how many cubes will be there that are not touching the spheres? You can see like this. If you can see that मेरा sphere ये था, थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे गैप बचा है, so it's not touching this cube. Similarly, it will happen for this sphere and this sphere, right? But in this sphere thing, if you see, it is touching the edge, it is touching the edge, it is touching the edge. It will always touch these edges. It will not touch any of the corners, right? So we can break it down. So basically now there are 3 layers of these cubes. First layer, second layer, third layer, like that. Corners wale cubes ko I have replaced with the spheres. Now, what cubes will not be touched? Again, as I said, this one will not be touched, this one will not be touched. पीछे वाली side का ये रहा, आगे वाली side का ये रहा. So now the middle one, this will not be touched, 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 because none of this has been touched. Okay, ये वाला sphere इसके साथ तो कैसे ही टच हो रहा है, राइट? इट इज़ ऑक्यूपाइंग इट्स ओन स्पेस पीछे वाली साइड, राइट? अगर यहाँ पे स्फेयर होता, राइट, अगर यहाँ पे स्फेयर होता, देन दिस हैव बीन टच्ड, बट द स्फेयर इज ओनली इन द पीछे वाली लेयर, इट्स ओनली ओवर हियर, इट्स नॉट ओवर हियर. ओके, सो दिस थिंग विल नॉट बी टच्ड. So 5 cubes will be untouched in the middle layer, and then one cube will not be touched in the बाहर के दोनों layers. So 7 cubes overall will not be touched. If I have replaced my 12 edge cubes and none of the vertex cubes, again you can see that only this thing is untouched now, because this is touching with this and this, 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 right? And these are also touching with this one. Okay, it's touching over here also, here also, here also, here also. तो इस पे तो 4 के 4 spheres are touching. Over here, this one in the middle layer, same case as this one becomes, so only one middle cube is untouched. And then in this layer, again this is the same, so in this also no cube is left untouched, so only one cube will be untouched in 12 edge cubes. If I have replaced only the 6 face centers, this means that I have only replaced spheres over here. So in the first layer, in this layer, this will be touched, this will be touched, this will be touched, this will be touched. So the 4 vertex cubes will not be touched. Then again, face यानी कि जो भी middle वाला cube है, that will be touched, right? So then again, this is the same as this thing. No cube will be left untouched. This case again is similar as this case. So 4 vertex cubes will be left untouched, hence 8 cubes will be left untouched. Last scenario, if all the outer edge cubes have been put, right, सारी की सारी cubes लगा दिए. So this is like the first layer. सब कुछ टच हो रहा है, हर जगह से टच हो रहा है, कोई मतलब बीच वाला ही बचता है अब सिर्फ, उसमें ये this, all of this is touching. In this, now this sphere, wait, let me clear this. Okay, so now this sphere will be touching this cube, ये साथ में joint है, this sphere will be touching this cube, ठीक है? The only cube that is not being touched is the middle one. इन वाले किसी में भी स्पेयर्स में से भी टच नहीं हो रहा है, एंड इस वाले में से भी किसी में भी टच नहीं हो रहा है, राइट? सो ओनली वन इज़ लेफ्ट. एंड देन सेम, ये वाला इधर भी टच होगा, ये वाला इधर भी टच होगा. सो ओनली वन क्यूब विल बी लेफ्ट untouched. This way you can solve all the number of cubes untouched question. And yes, so now a small trick to see if the sphere is touching or not. If you see this whole thing, the section wise thing that I've made, it is basically like this grid, no? So it's like this, all of this thing. If you see that the circle, the sphere, it will only be touching these middle points of the cubes. It will not be touching any of the edges, right? Like this. Okay, it's the same as this thing. So that ways we can determine. That's how I showed you as well. So yes, this was all for this video. In case you want this PDF, you can take screenshots. I will find some way to upload these PDFs somewhere and share. You can follow my Instagram to let know when this PPT will be available for download. And if you like this video, do like it, do share it with more design kids, and do subscribe to my channel. And I will be getting more videos soon. The next videos that I'll be getting are of the situation test prep. So yes, that's all for it, and thank you.